This is Maјklу Genoa with Insight to Israel and Beyond, and it is a beautiful day, another beautiful day, day number 2 in Belgrade, Serbia, and I'm excited, folks. Listen, that song, even if no one else believes, I know what the truth is. And, you know, I'm very, very blessed. This is why we're called Insight to Israel and Beyond. And I want to say thank you. We are, wherever I go in this world, it is an amazing blessing to meet people whose eyes are open.
Za mene je veliki blagoslov da budem sa ljudima čije oči su širom otvorene.
If there's no other time that we have remembered and have been thankful to God, this is that time.
Ovo je to vreme i nikako drugo kada smo blagosloveni što smo tu gde jesmo i da zahvaljujemo se Bogu na tome što gde jesmo.
So we are here in Belgrade. I'm with a very special gentleman that is a leader on many levels, but most importantly, even now in the day that we live in with government overreach and in our lives. And we saw the pinnacle of that in 2020.
I veoma mi je drago što sam ovde sa čovekom koji je vođa na više nivoa. I veoma sam blagosloven što sam tu i što ćemo razgovarati o tome kakve situacije sa vladama gde se nalazimo i situacija kako nas je sve zatekla još od 2020. godine.
And I'm going to read, Dushan, thank you.
Dušane, hvala vam.
Moj narode, Bog vas blagoslovio. Zadovoljstvo nam je da danas u gostima imamo Majka, jednog čoveka koji je širokog srca, hrabar, obišao je čitav svet da narodu saopšti istinu i da narod prepozna šta mu se dešava i da shvati da je spas jedino u istini, u zajedništvu i u empatiji.
My dear people, God bless you all. We are very happy to host Michael, who is here with us today, who has been traveling all over the world, who is very much awakened, and who is spreading the truth to all of you, to the people, and who also knows that the most important thing for all of us is just following the truth. This is what he is doing. And thank you for that, because the truth is the only way for all of us.
Amen, 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 amen. Okay, so I'm going to read off a little bit of the information you sent to me to our viewers so they have it, and then we'll let him explain himself.
Pročitaću ono što sam dobio od vas o tome čime se sve Dušan bavio i gde je sve radio. Ja bih onda molio da mi objasnite.
So, I want to make sure I say his name right.
Samo da proverim.
Dushan
Dунđer.
Dунđer, okay? Now, I'll just read this in English because he already knows that.
Pročitaću na engleskom pošto vi znate.
He's a PhD in science, a Serbian expert on international terrorism, security, and diplomacy. Several times prosper of the law on security of the Republic of Serbia, also creating a service for the protection of the interest of the state of Serbia. The only foreigner member that is a member of the Russian Ministerial Council on the Center for Security Services. The only foreigner, meaning he's not Russian, correct?
He's not Russian.
Right.
That
is the vice president of the Russian Association of Private Enterprises for General Security. He participated in many peace and security missions around the world. He is not a member of our assembly. He got the title called, how do you say that? Voj, the old Serbian name for leader. In February 2023, he was titled and given authorization to reunite and regain the old states of all Serbs, or precisely the old Slavic states, which would be, in essence, the former Yugoslavia. Am I correct? In December 2021, Putin was titled and given authorization to reunite and regain the old Russian states, and he started with the special operation. Great, fantastic. So I want to start out, in the West, whenever we know we don't trust our government, we don't trust the media, but in the West, whenever you say the name Putin, it's like, oh, bad guy. When you understand that, how would he explain to the West that everything's not what you see?
Pošto mi znamo šta je istina, ali na zapadu kada se kaže recimo i ne verujemo našim vladama, ali na zapadu kad se u medijima ili uopšte kaže Putin, onda to je odmah zlo, odmah su svi neprijateljski raspoloženi. Pošto vi znate istinu, kako biste vi rekli zapadu, recimo, šta je u stvari istina?
Istina je da neprijatelj svim narodima na planeti, nebitno je da li je to istok ili zapad, to su vlade tih zemalja, čiji je projekat već više od 100 godina jedna zajednička svetska vlada, koja se ostvari preko različitih instrumenta, kao Ujedinjene nacije, Svetska zdravstvena organizacija, Davos i tako dalje, i 50 multinacionalnih kompanija za koje ste sve čuli, godinama unazad pričamo o tom. Reci ti, ne znam koliko.
The truth is actually that the only enemy to the peoples in their own countries are actually their own governments.
Right.
Such governments, this is a project that has been created for a long period, hundreds of years. So, and the final aim of this project was to create one government for all. So this government with 50 multinational corporations, with the United Nations organization, with Davos, with the World Health Organization, actually controlling from one government controlling the whole world.
During thank you. That is an accurate response.
Hvala vam, to je tačan odgovor na
because we are being distracted by many things.
Mnoge stvari nas u stvari pažnju nam privlače druge stvari, nevažno.
Which when we look at someone else,
kad pogledamo nekog drugog,
our government looks better.
Naša vlada bolje izgleda nego što je tamo situacija.
But it's no better.
Ali nije bolje.
Naše vlade uvek govore da mi krasno, bajno, sjajno živimo. Istina je sasvim drugačija, svedoci ste šta se dešava ove 3 godine. Pažnja nam je skrenuta na specijalnu operaciju u Ukrajini, koju na zapadu zovu rat. To još uvek nije rat, jeste rat preko 30 zemalja protiv Rusije i specijalna operacija protiv nacizma, koja je tokom poslednjih 30 godina doživela svoj najveći uspon u poslednjih 30 godina od 45. do danas.
Yes, you are very much right. Our governments are telling us that the situation is brilliant, that everything is fine, but actually is not. We always have been distracted with some other things, but not to focus on the truth that is happening. Also, for example, this situation in Ukraine is a special operation, but in the Western world they call it war. Yes, it is the war between Russia and 30 countries that have been participating in this special operation, but it's not. You can call it war in that way.
Right.
But the truth is actually something very else.
Ako samo malo bolje razmislite svojom glavom, 2020. godine videli ste da je porobljeno čitavo čovečanstvo bez jednog ispaljenog hica.
If you think rationally, you will realize that what has been happening these last 3 years, since 2020, actually the whole mankind has been conquered without any single bullet.
To je ostvareno isključivo lažima medija i strahom koje mediji izazvao u narodu.
And they have managed doing that using media, because the media were had a very strong role in spreading fear and horror among the people, so that they would respond how they were planned to respond. The consequences, what we are having now.
So let's, for the viewers, explain, because he's his position. How do you say that? I apologize. My
Hajde
server
da objasnimo samo narodu poziciju koju mi, the last one,
correct. How do you say it?
da se titular, pozicija titulara.
Second.
In that one.
But how do you say it?
Vožd.
Vožd.
Titula vožd.
So
Šta znači vožd?
this is the position that's been appointed to him, correct?
Da.
I want to, for the viewers that know nothing about Serbia, okay, that's why I love going on the streets.
Pošto moji gledalci ne znaju ništa o Srbiji, pa da im objasnimo više o tome.
Vidite, prvo treba da shvatimo da imaju dve vrste titulara. Jedna je, da kažemo, Božja, a druga je satanistička. Jedna je zasnovana na pomorskom pravu, a jedna je zasnovana na Božjem pravu, a druga na pomorskom.
First, we must put it very clearly. There are two sides. There are two sides of being entitled for certain obligations, let's say, during governing the world. So one is given by the marital law. Is it marital law? Maritime law.
Yeah.
And the other one is the law by God, the God's law.
Okay.
Jedno je, recimo, kraljica majka pokojna, koja je imala pravo i ona je bila titular, i većina skandinavskih zemalja koje imaju kraljevine potiču od njih. A ono što oni ne znaju, još u vreme Ivana Groznog, zlato za opstanak Velike Britanije je dao Ivan Grozni, za uzvrat je tražio državni pečat. Državni pečat je značio da ne mogu da se šire, da imaju kolonije i tako dalje. Međutim, oni su ga otrovali i razlog Oktobarske revolucije, pošto su u vreme imali svoje ljude na dvoru kod Romanovih, nisu uspeli da nađu tek posle Oktobarske revolucije. I od onda je počela kulminacija zla na zapadu.
Samo da. So the entitled person for governing was the Queen Mother.
Okay.
The English Queen Mother of the royal family.
Okay.
All the royal families were entitled with this from this maritime law side. So it was the Queen's Mother. And Swedish and all royal families in Northern Europe, such as Sweden, and they had one. But the right for the English royal family to survive and to reign was the gold that was being given by Ivan the Horrible.
Ivan the Horrible.
Russian,
Ivan
yes,
the Terrible, yeah.
Ivan the Terrible. So the only reason was not to develop with colonies, not the colonizing. That was the only reason.
Right.
So all the gold actually was given by Ivan the Terrible. And he was himself, the truth is that he had been poisoned by the Brits.
Ah, okay.
And it was the seal, the royal seal, kraljevski pečat, the royal seal was being given, but all the truth was somehow being hidden for years until the October Revolution, because the Romano family was also had a very important role at that time. And until October Revolution, it was not found. It was not found, and it was. And then it was being taken because the Romano family had a huge, terrible and downfall. What happened to the family? Well, you find out the truth very soon. But the whole horrible things being done to the Eastern world actually started from 1945.
Right.
That year.
Right.
A Božja imperija je počivala na Božjim pravilima i zato kroz vekove oni su uvek bili naivniji od anglosaksonskog prava, ideologije i prava zasnovanog piratsko pravo vam samo govori pomorsko, na čemu je zasnovano.
So the Eastern representatives of royal family, let's say, had always been a bit naive comparing to the Western ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So they trusted, they believed, and somehow they were becoming very, very naive. But when we study, everyone can read the maritime law and see what on pirate laws, what they have been always been based on, taking away from somebody else.
Okay.
So grabbing and taking away.
Veoma je bitno zbog vaših gledalca da objasnimo fazu.
It is very important for your watchers to explain the phases, because there are very important stages and phases of developing this whole situation on the global level.
Okay.
What has been resulted with today's situation.
So the position he holds, Dushan is a leader here in Serbia.
Vi ste vođa. U stvari pozicija vaša je pozicija vođe, kao vožda.
I titled this Servant of the People.
A u stvari koji služi narodu. Yes.
When I sit in this office and I see the awards that he has and all the information, what brought him to this place to be a voice for his people?
Kad sam došla ovde u kancelariju, video sam i zastave i sve ove povelje koje imate u kancelariji. Koji je bio vaš put da postanete glas naroda?
Za razliku od običnog sveta i ovih koje nazivaju ekspertima za sve i svašta, moj razvojni put je bio takav zahvaljujući staroj Jugoslaviji. Imao sam znanja koja nisu bila za običan svet. 89. godine na nivou službi bezbednosti je dogovoreno da se formira jedna prva privatna kompanija za preventivu i borbu protiv organizovanog kriminala i terorizma. To je bila 89. godina.
Comparing to the people who have been claiming themselves that they are experts at various fields and haven't got any experience, I can say that all my educational and professional path actually was developed during and thanks to former Yugoslavia schools that I finished, and until 1989. There was a plan to start organizing a special security company for prevention against criminal activities and everything, only for the sake of the safety of the people and of the territory.
Ta ozbiljna zemlja, kao što je bila Jugoslavija, koja je imala svoje zakone, svoje principe koje su kasnije se obile na čitavu planetu, ono što je dobro od skandinavskih zemalja pa nadalje.
Even Yugoslavia itself actually was a country, it was free country, and all good things that we had and the laws and following the constitution, everything was followed. It was regularly on the daily basis. The life, everybody was was free. Many things of these laws actually have been being implemented in other countries, let's say Western and the North European countries, in Sweden and Norway. They are still implementing such laws in their own systems.
So how has, because right now, and although he's not an elected official, I'm correct in that, correct?
Zvanično, he was by the members of the parliament.
By the members, I just want to explain this to
Interim assembly.
his position.
Vas su izabrali članovi privremene skupštine za vožnju.
Ne.
No, not exactly.
Privremena skupština je izabrala kneza. Knezovi su izabrali.
Aha. Actually, the procedure was the following. The members of the interim assembly elected the princes,
Okay.
as I've told you,
Yeah.
and
And this is what I'm trying to
and
explain.
they elected Dushan.
Okay. So why have you had, and I was here last year, we did interviews. How long have you had an interim government? Which means, and for our viewers, an interim government is a government which is not, what's the word I'm looking for? An interim government, it's just temporary. It's temporary till you have a full-time government.
Yes.
Why don't you have a full-time government? What's happening there?
Zašto smo mi samo privremena? Od kada smo izabrani, zašto smo samo privremena, kao privremena skupština, zašto nismo u skupštini?
Pitanje je jednostavno. Zato što narod još nije razbuđen, onaj ko je razbuđen nema hrabrosti ili je ucenjen ili mu je zaprećeno i tako dalje. Angažano je stotine hiljada botova da obesmisle tu priču. On je svedok, bio je prošle godine baš gostin.
Prošle godine su bili.
Da bi se obesmislilo sve to, danas imate studente ispred skupštine, da se vidi da je dozvoljeno to u principu što ste vi uradili, što nikad svet nije video.
The question is excellent and the answer is very simple because the people in Serbia are not awake completely. They are not aware that they have got a free interim assembly waiting for them to come and to give us support. And you were here, joined us last year. We have been existing since the 16th of June 2020. But still today, you will see some students protesting in front of the National Assembly building. So they just want to show people that this is, just everyday thing. Everyone can come and protest in order to minimize our role and our importance at the time of being and how much people need to know about. They just don't know. They're not aware of it.
Ono što je mogao da vidi svojim očima, dobro što je proklito čitav svet. Video je nešto što nigde na svetu nije video.
And also you joined us last year and you witnessed yourself. And it's good that you have been traveling all over the world because this was a situation that you could never see before.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Right.
Da li ste bilo gde na svetu videli da ispred najvišeg zakonodavnog tela, što se zove Skupština, ima pravo bilo ko da stane duže od 15 minuta da ga odatle ne stane?
Have you seen in any of the countries and the capitals in front of such building that is National Assembly that anyone can stop longer than 15 minutes?
Not in the United States, especially.
Nigde, posebno u Americi, nisam tako nešto
They would come and arrest you.
Oni dođu i odmah da se uhapse.
Naravno. Da li ste vidjeli da bilo gde na svetu predsjednik polaže zakletvu, a na 5 metara od njega taj isti narod kaže, citiram, eto narode, sačekali smo da ovaj lažni predsjednik polaže lažnu zakletvu zbog vas koji živite u konformizmu, otprilike takva rečenica koja je objavljena i u RTS-u i svi diplomatski korovi su obavestili svoje zemlje.
Also, you could have witnessed the situation when this, how to say, forged president, lying president was standing. He was expecting to be inaugurated, let's say allegedly, but just 5 meters from him, there were the members of the interim assembly with a speaker who was he's just lying and he's going to be inaugurated because you are allowing him because you don't want to leave your conformity, you know.
So let me see if I understand this correctly.
Kako je to moguće? Zato što je jedino legitimno
body is our interim assembly of people worthy of Serbia.
zašto privremeno.
And why interim assembly?
Sve zemlje imaju problem sa takozvanom demokratijom, demos je volja naroda. Ni u jednoj zemlji ne postoji volja naroda, to je samo farsa kojom se vlada svim zemljama, pa i našom. Privremeno je dok ne budemo znali tačan broj glasača, znači tačan popis.
The truth is that in all countries, actually, people are having problems with their governments, right?
Right.
So why we are called interim assembly? Because we are interim until we get the precise number of the voters. The precise and what the truth is.
So let me see if I understand this correctly.
Mhm.
Your interim assembly is there's I'm trying to word this the right way.
Mhm.
It's obviously temporary.
Yes.
Okay.
Ona je privremena samo.
Is the president of Serbia, now I see this guy on the TV, I watch the news here in Serbia. Does that mean he's not a legitimate president of Serbia? And if not, how did he get there?
Evo ja gledam televiziju i vidim tog čoveka za koga kažu da je predsjednik Srbije, on se stalno pojavlja na televiziji, kako je moguće, onda on nije legitimni, to znači da on nije legitimni predsjednik Srbije.
Were your elections rigged, like they say in the United States?
Da li su izbori bili lažni kao i zloupotrebni kao i u Americi što se desilo?
Apsolutno,
Absolutely, yes. This is what I wanted to make parallel.
S tim što izbore može da raspiše samo privremena skupština. Svi drugi izbori su neustavni i nelegitimni. Dok vam glasa 2 miliona mrtvih glasača, ne možete da imate regularne i legitimne.
Of course, I wanted to make parallel, but in Serbia, the only legitimate elections can be prepared and announced only by this interim assembly, our interim assembly of people. And we are waiting to check the number of the population voters because there are 2 million, according to the data, there are 2 million dead ones who participate in elections. So any elections are not legitimate.
Wow. So during this interim assembly, I mean, are you able to get actual laws passed? Because it's only a temporary. So
pošto je privremena skupština, da li zakoni mogu da se sprovode koji se donose ili kako?
Pa donešeno je negde oko 1400 zakona i uredbi i oni će stupiti na snagu onog trenutka, odnosno moći će da se realizuje tek kada narod to shvati i prihvati da je jedini spas narod, ne političke partije, ne ti lideri i tako dalje. Međutim, osvrnuo bi se, pošto je pomenuo Ameriku, često imam problem i po Evropi, a i po naravno Rusiji, kada narod priča loše o Amerikancima. Ja im kažem, shvatite, narod nema s tim nikakve veze. Sin narod, osnovni neprijatelj su oni koji vladaju njima umjesto da služe.
Yes, wherever I traveled, just to add this, every nation and people have got democracy. Let's say democracy.
Yeah.
But democracy actually is the enemy to the people, because now we all are facing problems with such a democracy that has been used against us.
Yeah.
In every country individually. But wherever I traveled, especially when I go to Russia or any other country, people talk against each other. So they talk against any bad things about American people, and I say, please, don't
I'm a spy all over the Balkans.
Yeah, ja sam špijun po Balkanu. And I say, don't blame the people. It's just people are good people wherever you go. It's just the people who have the roles of their government, actually. They are misusing their positions. They are actually doing evil to their own people. So it's not the American people you should be angry with, but their governments.
Pošto je Maјklу iz Amerike, treba da zna neke stvari koje su mu bile na planu. Ne znam da li ih je analizirao.
So, since you are from America, I think that you should.
Ovih nešto godina se dešavaju nad američkim narodom.
The worst crimes that has been happened over peoples actually in the last 100 years were in America against the American people.
Čovečanstva ne zna.
The rest of the mankind are not aware of that.
Na nekoj lokalnoj televiziji skoro sam pričao o tom, nisam znao da je kamera uključena, radi se o trenutku, gde sam im pričao gde je uvedeno prvo ograničenje brzine, što nije nešto strašno, jel?
I gave on one local television when I was guested. I spoke about the first laws, which was not, it's just a minor law, the speed limit in driving, for example.
I narod i uopšte o tom i ne razmišlja.
People just don't think about it.
I ne shvata da tada mi kanališemo taj narod, znači usmeravamo ga, da ima nešto jače od njegove volje pod plaštom bezbednosti saobraćaja.
So under protection and security issues, we are actually controlling people and putting them into one canal. You know what I mean? So they just follow. They don't use their willingness, their awareness of during the driving, but they are following the laws. So they are cut from their own mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I was actually in a conversation with someone, a friend of mine, and I said, I don't wear my seatbelt. Now that's stupid to some people, and that's fine, but I've made that decision. But who is the government, even in that instance? And it started there, and it accelerated slowly, but now it's accelerated to where it is today. So who is the government to use the police, who should actually be catching criminals, to stop me in my vehicle that I pay for, okay, to tell me to wear, a grown adult to wear my seatbelt? And that's why we are here where we are today. Look, now I want to add to what he's saying. The deception of my government, okay, against our own people, that murders not only our own people, but in the name of freedom and democracy, sends our soldiers abroad to kill the bad guys, and our soldiers are used to kill millions of people while they are also being killed. And then they come back to the U.S. and they can't get the proper medical care that they need. And they were the ones that defended freedom.
Hoću da se prvo nadovežem na to što ste rekli o demokratiji, pod plaštom demokratije i slobode. Mnogi naši ljudi, vojnici, poslati su po svetu da ubijaju loše, po znacima navoda, loše ljude. Ubijali su milione ljudi, na kraju su i neki od njih mnogi bili ubijeni, a oni koji su preživeli, kad bi se vratili u Ameriku, nisu imali prava ni za zdravstvenu pomoć. I to je, eto, pod plaštom demokratije.
Samo to iz eksperimenata, gde eugenike prvo je primenjena u Sjedinim državama.
eugenic was first implemented in the US. So many experiments were being used.
Abortion.
Isto abortus.
Abortus, nebitno, onda bitno izmenjeno stanje svesti, Hollywood, promjena i nametanje nekih drugačijih vrednosti od onih koje su Božije.
Not only such experiments, but also in on all the spheres, in order controlling man's mind, attitude toward life, and like in Hollywood, what has been what happened.
Do inicijative Svetske zdravstvene organizacije da biti homoseksualac nije oboljenje nego opredeljenje, to je bilo 91. godina.
And also in 1991, World Health Organization, when they approached with the decision that LGBT and gay is not a mental disorder, but your choice how to live your life instead.
Potrebno je bilo samo nekoliko decenija i sada je poželjno da države vode LGBT zajednice ili ne znam kako.
And now it took us, 20, 30, how many years, decades later, now we are in the position that the governments are being instructed to and encouraged to give encouragement to all this LGBT population in their own environments.
Go ahead.
Pošto je to suviše složena situacija za poslednjih 100 godina, treba pomenuti ovo što je on svedok, znači u ovom vremenu, izbor Trumpa za predsjednika, a tu ima jedan deo vezan za Srbiju. Ne znam da li pominjemo onu anegdotu koju sam pričao za cigaretu, ali možda i da, jer pobornici slobode u ovoj zemlji i šire će pitati zašto ja ne zapalim u svoje kancelarije.
Sloboda, freedom. Sloboda is freedom in Serbia. I know that word. That's the one word I know in Serbian.
To reći znam na srpskom jeziku. All this actually, this whole story actually takes a long course of time.
Da.
This all has been happening for a long. It's a very complex situation to understand. So we all need to get the core, what in. But for you, it would be good because we don't have much, so much time to go through all the history of the changes. But maybe for you, it would be known why, for example, Trump was elected at the time when he became the president. And also our destiny has been a bit related to that period of time in American history. So maybe it would be known about freedom of choice, freedom, because many people will ask why Dushan is not smoking, because we all know that he always smokes. And he says, well, let's say about the freedom in the White House, so in the House of Democracy.
Ja se izvinjam, u dogovoru sa Majklom pre emisije, bilo su 3 razloga zašto da ne zapalim. Prvi razlog je bio Majklova mama koja gleda sad što mi govorimo. Pozdravljam ovog puta Majklovu mamu kao i sve one probuđene ljude koji misle dobro sebi i svojim potomcima. Zbog nje neću zapaliti cigaretu. A pričamo o Trumpu, pričamo o tome da ga Majkl ne voli puno zbog promocije vakcine, jel?
Yeah, why I'm saying this? Yes, because I know I want to apologize. Why? And to explain to our watchers why I'm not smoking today, because there are 3 reasons that Michael has got his own rules, and I respect them. But first of all, I decided not to smoke during the interview because of Michael's mother. She's watching this, so I send her all my best regards and all our watchers who are awakened.
Amen.
Ja ću je zamoliti ako mogu kasnije da zapalim.
But I will ask her if she doesn't mind. Maybe I'll take one cigarette later on.
Šta se tad dešavalo? Bitne su bile 3 stvari koje je trebalo da uoči svako ko zna i bavi se politikom i sebe naziva nekakvim analitičarem.
What was important at that time of Trump's when Trump became the president? It was very important for everyone who calls himself an analytic, to know the details and some things and events that were happening at that time.
Svi ste svedoci dešavanja na Kosovu, o zainteresovanosti svih velikih sila za to Kosovo I nekakvu nezavisnost.
You know about our story of Kosovo and so many sides being interesting and had been showing interest what to do with Kosovo and how to make it independent.
Politika naravno nema emocija I nema tu ljubavi uopšte.
There are no emotions in politics, of course. There is no love.
20. juna, znači 4 dana po formiranju privremene skupštine, ja sam pozvan da se nađem sa najbližim Trumpovim okruženjem.
I was only 4 days after the interim assembly of people worthy of Serbia was formed in 16th of June 2020. 4 days later, I was invited by advisors and the members of Trump's team to join and come for the meeting.
Znači, u prvom danu smo se dogovorili o svim detaljima.
We arranged and settled all the details during our conversation on the first day.
Kosovo nije dovođeno uopšte u pitanje, to je bilo srpsko I ostaje srpsko.
Of course, Kosovo has always been and will be a part of Serbia, and there was never a question of discussing whether to get it separated or not.
I teritorija Srbije je bila srpske zemlje I pomorske.
And also another issue we discussed was the territory of Serbia, how it will look like, and it will be Serbian land and sea states.
I to im nije nikakav problem bio, znači da se prihvati.
They accepted.
Uslov je bio da
the Trump administration.
To je Trumpova administracija.
Administracija I tada samo da idem redosledom, preskočit ću nešto što je veoma bitno.
Let me go step by step. So maybe I will skip something that is important for you.
I za američki narod.
This is also important for American people to know.
I uslov je bio da privremena skupština napravi koaliciju sa jednom partijom iz Srbije.
One condition we were given was that interim assembly of people worthy of Serbia established cooperation with one of the political parties existing in Serbia.
Ja sam to odbio, nemajući pravo da govorim u ime mog naroda, a pogotovo da sklapam takve dogovore.
And I refused that.
Možda da sam znao, možda je bolje bilo tada sam prihvatio, sve bi bilo drugačije.
But maybe if I had said yes, maybe the situation would have been improved for the Serbian people here.
What was that one political party that
Koja je to politička partija koju
that he refused?
Nije baš pametno da kažem.
It's not smart, it's very much smart to say.
It's not, okay, so I'm going to say this for our viewers.
Samo to želim.
So when Trump was in, I'm going to recap this real quick.
Samo da ponovim.
When Trump was president, he was invited to come and talk about the situation with Kosovo and Serbia. Kosovo, the EU is trying to get Kosovo to join, and that would mean complete separation from Serbia. So there's a big, and
Ne, nije samo o Kosovu i Srbiji.
Only about
Nego je
Kosovo.
šire.
no. Let me just say this. And keep in mind, this is, and whether this has anything to do with it or not, Kosovo is predominantly Muslim. Am I correct?
Da li je Kosovo u većini muslimansko stanovništvo?
I'm not trying to bring a Muslim issue into it, but the United States has a way of catering to one group and then separating the other. And what I mean by that is we have a military base in Kosovo.
Imamo vojnu bazu u Kosovu, Amerika uvek se trudi da odvoji jedan deo od drugog, pa zato kaže ne želim da muslimane sada favorizujem, nego
So is there a specific reason why the United States chose to put a base in Kosovo? And
Postoji li neki poseban razlog zašto su Amerikanci vojnu bazu postavili na Kosovu?
A tada je postojao,
At that time there was the reason.
sada će se pokazati koliki je besmisao toga, ali da vam ne pričam neke stvari unapred, hteo bi da Maјklу prvo vidi šta mu je bilo pred očima. I celom američkom narodu i da nije shvatio.
Just let me go step by step and
Yeah,
show
go
you
ahead,
what
please.
had been in front of your eyes, and maybe people didn't see that in America.
yeah,
Because very soon
come closer, come closer, come closer.
because very soon this military base it will show that it was nonsense. There was no reason for
Okay, please.
the truth will come out.
Šta se dešavalo tad? Tražili su da pod hitno dođem da posetim Belu kuću. Pokazali su mi pedigre tog čoveka, odnosno njegove partije. To je čovek koga ja znam 30 godina. Nikad me nije slagao, verovatno nije bio u situaciji da me slaže, nisam nikad ništa tražio od njega. I dobri smo prijatelji, ali privremena skupština je podnela krivične prijave protiv njega. Ja sam im rekao i da je moje dete u pitanju, ako moj narod tako mislim, dok se to ne završi, ja ne mogu da pravim kontakt.
I myself had been invited to come to White House, and the pedigree of this politician, his party, was prepared to be given to me. But I myself, I have known this man for 30 years. I can say that we have been in good terms. He had never lied to me, and but on the other side, the interim assembly of the people working in Serbia prepared charges against politicians who had done the crime against the peoples and the country, and he is on the list. He is one of them. So I said that I cannot do that. I cannot sign for any cooperation with such people because he's on the list that even if he had been my own son, I would never have accepted that.
What crimes were they being?
Kakve zločine, kakve optužbe su na njegov račun bile?
Belize, to je najčešće.
Okay.
To je jedna od...
One of the charges.
Da dođemo na glavnu temu.
But let me go back to the main track.
Uslov da dođem je bio da ja zapalim tompus u Beloj kući. Na kraju je to prihvaćeno. Zapamtite, veoma je bitno ne zbog tompusa, nego kako funkcionišu ovo što znamo kao republikanci i demokrati. To ne postoji. To je jedna pozorišna predstava, kao u svim ostalim zemljama višepartijski sistem. To zapamtite jednom. Ne postoji volja naroda. Svi trče za isto gazdu.
I myself was invited, as I said, to come to the White House, but I said under one condition that I can smoke a tompus, and I was allowed. So you see,
he was allowed to smoke.
Yes, he said, and I said, da li ste otišli u Belu kuću? No, it was just invitation. But I just want to say that even Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter who is on the throne, they're all the same.
Right.
So it's not, that is the truth.
We're just being fooled into the political
Mi smo
parties.
svi prevareni tim političkim partijama koje vladaju.
Absolutely.
But people just don't understand that. This multi-political environments and the democratic, they are not true.
Right.
They're just the theatrical play for the people.
Yeah.
Sada ključna rečenica, ključna stvar.
And the key sentence for you.
Osnovni razlog je, kao što znate, u zapadnoj diplomatiji mora uvek da bude nešto iza, a nije ono što je vidno i što je polje interesa. Njihov zahtev da vide mene nije bila Srbija, njihov zahtev je bio, pošto znaju na kojoj sam poziciji, da se pripremi materijal protiv Bajdena i Bajdenovog sina. Oni su išli 2 puta kod tužioca u Ukrajinu, s tim što sam ja to sticajem okolnosti znao kada su počeli da pričaju, ali to je nonšalantno da pribavimo to. Ja sam rekao, a nije im to kao toliko bitno, taj proces je trebalo da započne u septembru u Sjedinjenim državama, znači to je razdoblje od juna do septembra 2020. Ja sam rekao, ako vam nije toliko bitno što ste bili kod tužioca u Ukrajini, gde je čovjek bio zatečen, pa ne prijateljski, pa zašto ste tražili predmete od Bajdenovog sina i on čovjek, naravno, nije mu bilo dobro. Pa ja kažem, džabe ste išli i drugi put. Pa ne, ja kažem, pa bili ste pre mesec dana. Znači, osnovna svrha što su mene tražili nije bila Srbija i Kosovo, nego diskreditacija Bajdena prilikom tih izbora. Šta se dešava potom?
Actually, what was happening in this period of time between June and September 2020, the invitation for me to come to the White House, the main aim was not Serbia and Kosovo, it was the Biden's family. It was about the charges that were prepared against John and his son, and even the members of Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden.
Joe Biden. Hunter.
Joe and Hunter Biden. Okay. Actually, because they knew very well my position that I had, and I knew that they had been to Ukraine 1 month earlier, asking from the state prosecutor for all the evidence. So they were collecting the material and evidence against the Joe Biden and his son, what they had been actually doing in Ukraine.
Wow. How does all this? It's a very difficult question because like you said, there are Serbians who, they're asleep. They almost don't care. But then there's you folks that are concerned about the future of your country and of your people. From your perspective, of your eyes being open, how is this war and what the Bidens have done in there? And there's more than just the Bidens. We haven't even uncovered how deep the U.S. government and all of our representatives are invested in. They're just using the Bidens as a distraction.
You mean Ukraine?
For the war in the Ukraine, for the corruption that's in there. Mm-hmm. Has there been anyone in the government that's been possibly investigated or accused of anything of being involved in the Ukraine with the corruption there? And how is that war affecting your relationship with Russia?
You mean with this unlegitimate
government? With the illegitimate
because government. We are interim. Yes, we are interim, but the only legitimate. Michael pita, kaže, kaže, ovo je teško pitanje, ali ima mnogo ljudi u Srbiji koji potpuno su u zoni komfora, koji uopšte ne znaju šta se dešava, nisu ni svesni prave istine koja se dešava oko nas i ima tu vas koji ste vrlo probuđeni i koji se borite za slobodu i za lepšu budućnost svoje zemlje i svoga naroda i svih ostalih. Koje je vaše mišljenje u vezi svega ovoga? Jer ja ne verujem da je samo Biden sa svojim sinom učestvovao. To je čitava korupcija. Pitanje je koje je učestvovanje američkih članova vlade uopšte u situaciji u Ukrajini i da li imate neke informacije da je neko iz srpske nelegitimne vlade učestvovao u tim nekim ili koji je na, kako se kaže, za koga se smatra pa se istražuje da li je možda i on učestvovao u nekim stvarima i da li je time vlada Srbije u lošim odnosima sa Rusijom, kako sve to utiče na nas?
Kako sladak
Very sweet boy.
Najbolji svedok je mrtav svedok.
The best witness is the dead witness.
Okay, that's all we need to say.
To je
The
sve što
best
treba.
witness is a dead witness.
Svi oni trče za istog auta.
They are all running for the same master.
Yeah.
Onda to koji u Srbiji važi za nekog ruskog čoveka, on je američki potpunosti, ali hteo sam da mu pojasnim šta se dešava u tih ključnih 7 dana i ključnih 7 dana pre poziva Trumpovog našem nelegitimnog predsjednika.
Yes, but well, yeah, they all are running for the same master, and well, you understand. But what is the key point, and what I would like also to say, what was happening in this period of 7 days before Trump invited our, at that time, president to come to the U.S. Because people who belong to our government, who have been claiming that they are for Russians, they are actually pure Western agents and working for the American.
I believe it.
Ja isto verujem u to da su ka Americi okrenuti.
All this,
Naravno,
Da, of course.
to nije što je s tim što ni jadni u Americi ne znaju da su oni samo pioni i što upravljaju Ameriku, da tako kažem. Pa upravo u toj godini, odnosno tih par meseci je trebalo bar da bude jasno američkom narodu da nikakve veze nema njihova izborna volja sa onim šta će se desiti.
Even in those couple of months in America, American citizens should have understood the truth that the elections are not the ones where that they will come with the truth to the end. So the whole this period of time was very precious for you to understand what was happening.
Posle 7 dana
Exactly 7 days later,
dobio sam poruku sve to što smo se dogovorili za Srbiju, odnosno srpske zemlje i za novog partnera Sjedinjenih država u Evropi, evo sad to prvi put pričam zbog Majka, zbog njegove politike, jer naš narod to ne bi baš brzo tako ni razumeo. Umesto te Evrope, kako mi znamo, to su trebale da budu srpske zemlje i pomorske i savez, sad znate kojom zemljom, Turskom. Znači Turska, Bugarska, Rumunija, Italija i ceo ovaj deo Srbije, odnosno bivše SNRJ srpskih zemalja, je trebao da bude novi partner Sjedinjenih država.
actually, in those 7 days after the invitation, I got the message that everything that we had spoken about, it was actually Serbia and Serbian land and sea states. Our new country, actually our old country that is reunited again,
wow.
was supposed to be a direct American partners in Europe. So the picture of Europe actually is being changed at the time being.
As we speak.
So we actually were planned to be united with Turkey first of all, and then Bulgaria and Romania, Bugarskom, yes, and one part of Italy and Austria. This was all supposed to be the one state as a direct partner to the United States.
And if now we're talking about in the past, or we're talking about what they want to plan, what they want to.
Ovo je šta je željeno da se formira, jeli, govorimo sad, jeli, o ovom vremenu.
Govorimo o onom vremenu šta je dogovor.
It was arranged. This was what we had arranged that time.
Je sad,
In the 2020
je sad
period.
uslov, a tad je uslov da zaboravim Trump. Da nije bitno da li je Trump ili Biden. Oni su vladali decenijama i vladaće ponovno. I sad sam ja rekao, po prvi put sumnjam u svoju analizu, jer ja sam prvi rekao da će Trump biti I iako je ceo svet tvrdio da će biti Hillary Clinton, naravno ima znakova da ona treba da bude, međutim i za neke zavese je dogovoreno da bude Trump. A tada i za te iste zavese je dogovoreno da zaboravi na Trumpa, da to uopšte nije bitno, naš dogovor stoji, ali odustajemo od Bajdena. To je bio 20, recimo 9 ili 30 juna. Tad sam rekao da će Trumpa istati najbliže okruženje.
2020. It was about, I had been told that it didn't matter who, and for me to forget about who was going to be the president. Either Trump or Biden, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Even for the elections, many people believed that Hillary Clinton would win the elections, but she didn't, because it was decided that Trump came to the position. But I myself said, I followed my knowledge and instincts, and I said that Trump was going to be the next elected president. But when I was told it was the 29th of June, 2020, I realized that something was going to happen, and I said that the lowest circle of people surrounding Trump will betray him. And this is what I stated at that time, that something would happen to Trump, and he would not win the election. That would be the only reason. Yeah.
Šta se dešava 2 meseca kasnije? Naš, nazovimo ga, privremeni vođa odlazi na poziv Sjedinjenih država gore, a 3 dana pre tog stiže dopis, odnosno telefonski poziv da se pošalje vaša odluka od 17. juna 2020. gde je on razrešen dužnosti.
What was happening 1 month after our meeting? The president, that was illegitimate president, was invited by the White House to come to the U.S.
The illegitimate president of Serbia was invited to the White House.
Yes, he was invited.
A month later.
But a couple of days soon after the meeting, the White House was asking for the documents and the decision made by the interim government of People Worthy of Serbia from the dated 17th of June 2020, when the members of the parliament made decision that the president at the time will not be longer president.
Wow.
So it was a decision made by interim assembly. So America was asking for the document before he arrived there. And that's why all this picture and report, how he was being treated and what he was doing. Actually, the chair he was given to sit on was showing actually his status.
Zbog tog dokumenta je poturan i onaj drugi koji je prethodno dogovoren sa Merkelom, jer je već sad donešena odluka da Nemačka neće biti.
There was another document also that was being included among the lots of documentation that was being signed at the table, the decision that Germany would no longer be the direct partner to America on behalf of whole Europe, because the concrete arrangement had been made before that Serbia with our states would be.
Taj dokument uopšte nije potpisan.
And that document was not signed by the other part.
Nego samo to je bila još jedna nizu pozorišnih predstava da se zna, da se sve zna.
So that document was not officially signed, and the name of the president, it was not only his name. So there were so many signs, even in administrative field, when you look at them, was showing that this whole is just a theatrical play. to the people.
So let me
Izvinjam, samo da dovršim.
And to finish, just to finish.
Kraj. 10-15 dana kasnije, izbori su već počeli, imate jednu scenu koja je isto nezamisliva kao I ono što ste vi stajali ispred Skupštine.
And 10-15 days later, elections process started, and you also had one incredible scene that is not for to a normal person accepted, but it was similar to the one that you saw the people standing for months in front of the assembly building in Belgrade.
Sjedinjenih država koja je ipak imperija I neka velika sila.
So the president of the United States that represents the power generally, yes, the power and the whole imperial in the world.
Zamislite to dešavanje da jedna privatna kompanija Google zabrani predsjedniku da se obraća narodu na bilo koje društvene mreže.
And then you have the situation that one private company, such as Google, forbids to this person who is the American president to address people. So he was not able to, or any other network was not allowed to be used that he can address his own, people to all the world. Whoever.
Teoretski moguće da kompanija bude moćnija od predsjednika jedne od najvećih
In
sila.
theory, is it possible that one private company is more powerful than the president of the United States? Just think about it.
A potom, dan pre izbora, proglašavaju pobedu Bajdena Srbija I mainstream novinari po svetu. Znači, pre brojanja glasa.
And one day before the final elections in the US, Serbia had pronounced Biden as the president of the United States, and all the mainstream media in the country. Zaista.
Šta se
Yes.
dešava u januaru?
And what happened in January, actually?
wow, this is all new to me.
Ovo je sve novo za mene.
Kamila Harris, jel?
Da.
Šalje svog kurira, nas je 10 kod mene u kući, dolazi njen kurir I ja kažem, ovo su ljudi pred kojima ja nemam tajni, reci. I on kaže koga šalje I kaže sledeću rečenicu. Pozdravila vas je, raduje se vašoj poseti Beloj kući, ali da vam poručimo da se u Beloj kući ne puši. Šta je pisac hteo da kaže? Ono su republikanci, ovo su demokrate. Nema republikanaca I demokrate, svi oni rade za isto gazdu. Znači, znaju sve do detalja šta smo se mi dogovarali 3 dana. Tako da nemate više prava na nikakve iluzije da neko misli na dobrobit čovečanstva. To ne postoji. Pogotovo u Sjedinjenim državama. To je eksperiment. I sve ovo sad što se dešava, zbog to kaže nas sačekati to novo dobro vreme bez Q-a I ostalih, nego sa tim ljudima širokog uma I širokog srca.
Only 15 days later, after the elections, I got the message from Kamala Harris. She sent a courier to me, and I was in my house with 10 people, and I said, I just trust all these people around me, so I don't have any secrets. So you just say why you have come. And he said that he was sent by Camila, and she was looking forward to seeing him, that he is very much welcome to the White House, but there is one more rule. Smoking is not allowed. Smoking is not allowed. So for me, it was very clear. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether there are Republicans or Democrats. It's just the same. It's just they're working for the same, how we said, master. So they knew, these Democrats knew everything that we had, or Republicans knew everything that about the meeting we had some months before.
Wow.
These 3 days. So this was just for me the message that she knew everything.
To mi zovemo zvanična politika jedne zemlje.
So we call it official politics of one country.
Wow.
And is it?
Jer sva ta grla oličena u partijama trče za isto gazdu.
So all the political parties, actually members, they are running and working and serving the same side.
I to je poniženje i američkog naroda. Nećemo karakterišemo Bajdena kakav je, šta je radio, kakve su njegove sposobnosti, zamislite jednu imperiju koju predvodi.
So for the American people, this is really humiliating. So you just need to open your eyes. So everything just depends on you, not the rest. So it's on the American people. And I don't want to talk more about Biden, but do American people deserve, this is just an experiment, but do American people really deserve such president, such person who has committed a lot of things, to run this huge country and this.
And this is my question that I was going to, that I make reference to the American people and to the Serbians. And I'll give you an example. In Macedonia,
Ovo pitanje bih onda postavio za srpski narod.
during the pandemic,
U Makedoniji, recimo, u vreme pandemije,
if I understand correctly,
ako sam dobro razumeo,
they had 1 month of lockdowns.
imali su 1 mesec lockdown.
The Macedonians overthrew the police and their government and demanded freedom, and the government capitulated. Am I correct?
Da li su Makedonci se pobunili protiv vlasti i da je vlada Makedonije pala? Da li je to tako?
And they only had 1 month of lockdowns
I da
because
su samo imali lockdown mesec.
I just want to make sure I understood
Samo
that.
hoću da proverim da li sam dobro razumeo.
Ne znam.
I don't know.
Okay.
Papir je Balkan. Svi su očekivali da će Balkan da se pomogne. Nažalost, i da će ta svetska prevara pasti u vodu, međutim, Balkan ispadaše najveći poslušnici na planeti.
So everybody has expected the people in the Balkans would be the first one to raise their heads and fight against such theory, yes, but it has come out that the Balkan people actually are the worst, it would be the last to raise their heads, unfortunately.
U Srbiji je bilo takvih ljudi, duše pojedinaca, koji su imali svoje ugostiteljske objekte, koji su radili svoje poslove i nisu poštovali lockdown, verujući u ono što im govorim godinu dana.
But on the other side, there are so many individuals, owners of restaurants, private companies who did not want to obey such crazy rules and lockdowns. They opened their doors to everyone because they believed what I had been telling them before all this started to happen.
Gde su bili simpatični na tabli napisani slogani službenim licima strogo zabranjen ulaz sa maskama i naravno nema lockdown. Mislite koliko treba biti hrabar ili verovati nekom. To je zahvaljujući našem Milanu ima, ja sad ne znam tačan broj, mislim 24 prekršajne i 2 ili 4 krivične prijave. Sve su odbijene i još sad država treba da mu plati. Tako da treba verovati u slobodu i boriti se za tu slobodu i znati da je pravda na njegovoj strani. To je ona istina.
Those people were so brave and even crazy, So they would write down on the charts on the entrance door the entrance is prohibited for all government or official, employed people. We don't believe in lockdown. So it was very,
Did this here?
I don't know whether in Belgrade, but people who had their own restaurants, they were, brave enough. So everybody could come
Here in Serbia.
Yes,
Let me, I want to, because when you have
In
him
Serbia.
talking and then you talking, sometimes it gets,
Yeah.
so in Serbia, let me say this, in Serbia, they were putting signs, they didn't want to shut down, so they put signs on the restaurants that no government people or employees are welcome
Yeah,
with the
masks
mask, because we don't believe
in
in
lockdowns
in
and
lockdowns.
COVID. Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, you know, we can blame our government for our problems, or we can blame ourselves for not getting our government under control. There's a balance there. At the same time, if I understood correctly, and I'm looking at all of Eastern Europe, which includes the Balkans, and I've said this multiple times in my videos, 70%, 80% of Bulgaria, 70% of the people said no, thank you to the government when it came to the injection, which says something about their ability to A, think for themselves, and B, have that strength. You can think for yourself, but you can still obey. But to have that strength to say no, thank you, even if they didn't go out and march or anything else, they still said no, and that's a huge thing compared to most countries.
Velika stvar, kaže, koliko sam shvatio da u Bugarskoj je 80%, a ovde kod nas 70% ljudi koji su rekli ne vakcini. I suviše hrabro da, jer svako ljudsko biće je dovoljno zreo da sam odluči da li će ili neće, ali su ljudi dovoljno svesni bili da kažu ne i da ne budu vakcinisani.
Ne bi da komentarišem procente i da li su oni takvi ili se malo razlikuju, ali bit ćemo svedoci svih tih posljedica kao što smo ove 2-3 godine, a pogotovo kada bude korišćeno malo više to veliko naučno dostignuće 5G mreže. Tako da bilo bi sjajno da je tako. Da su rezultati malo loši.
I wouldn't make any comment regarding the percentage because we are not so sure about. I would be really happy if there is 70%, which you're saying. I'm afraid that maybe the final result is sadder than you think.
Yeah.
But now we'll see. The future will show us because of 5G network and all that has been happening. And just to finish regarding these brave people who wrote, yes, and who opened their doors to everyone. There were even many of them ended as court cases. And thanks to the lawyer who is the member and vice president of our Interim Assembly, lots of cases were solved for the people, not for the government, because they press charges against them for not obeying the rules, during the lockdown. And they now had the situation, and thanks to our lawyer, that now the government is obliged to give a certain amount of money and pay to the people.
Wow.
Suština priče je da se svi narodi Evrope bude. Žao mi je što ne može da mu se dočara šta se dešavalo istine u Rimu. To je jedan neponovljiv evropski svetski događaj gde se okupile i službe bezbednosti Italije, Francuske, Austrije, Nemačke da podrže narod Italije. Ja bih ga pozvao, ne znam kakav mu je plan, ja ne znam kad se dešava u Izraelu. 11. 12. da budete gost, tu će biti ljudi iz cele Evrope, znači Poljske, Slovačke, Nemačke, Italije, Austrije, ja mislim znači bit će cela Evropa u jednom smetu. To su sve probuđeni ljudi koji znaju ne samo sami sebe, su i da ova duboka država koji su pričali o emisije, njoj polako, ciljno kraviti, će pogledati ne probudi, ne skupe hrabrost, tu vidite šta se dešava i sa Evropom i sa narodima u Evropi koji shvataju bezumlje politike. nasela, odnosno i oni su podanici, kao što pod Amerikom nije, nego su jadni robovi i Ameri i Evropa, oni koji neće to podržavati.
It's a pity that you couldn't have been with us on the Square of Freedom in Rome. It was an incredible situation where people gather and there's all security and all kinds of police, and they joined the people, giving them support for the freedom. It was a very special moment at that time. And people all over the world have been struggling, and they are fighting, and that is fascinating. So the next event that our interim assembly is organizing is 11th and 12th of August. We shall meet all our friends from Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Romania, we believe. So there will be a huge event where we are going to present our interim assembly on a special occasion in the town of Zrenjanin. So you are very much invited, and we would like to have you with us if you have time to come and join us in the town of Zrenjanin.
I appreciate it very much.
Hvala vam puno.
One last question,
I poslednje
because
pitanje.
we've been here for
Evo već.
around 24 minutes. I see, the Balkans in such a, when you have an ever-changing world, obviously, I feel like you're an island in a sea of nations, okay? And of course, nothing's perfect. Your government obviously has its issues. The society has things that it deals with. But from my observation, and this is traveling the Balkans for 6 months, to a great degree, you've still been able to maintain your principles, your values, your traditions, and even, not everybody believes in God. I get that. But there's still that love for the church. What do you see will be we all know what the challenges are that are coming. Digital currency, the WHO, all that stuff. What do you think has been the glue with all the wars, the countries around you and the EU and NATO? What do you think has been the one glue that has held the people in the Balkans together?
Ovih 6 meseci,
That's a lot.
jesam, ovih 6 meseci sam putovao po čitavom Balkanu i zaista ovo je veoma, osjećam se kao da sam na ostrvu sa puno raznih naroda koji žive, okružen svima okolo. Ljudi, ali ono što ste uspeli da sačuvate jeste tradicija i neki principi i nasleđe koje uspeva da opstane. Pa bi bilo pitanje, znam i mnogo ljudi, uglavnom veliku privrženost našeg naroda, vašeg naroda crkvi. Znam i mnogo ljudi koji ne veruju u Boga. Nema veze, svako ima svoje i opredelio se kako će živeti. Ali sa ovim velikim pritiscima i Evropske unije i NATO i svega što se dešava okolo vas, šta je taj lepak koji treba da spoji sve nas i naše narode kako bi opstali i ujedinili se, da se očuvamo i sačuvamo?
I know that's hard to catch.
Znam da je to veliko
i složeno pitanje. To je proces koji pokazuje veće rezultate. Žao mi je što se dešava to u Ukrajini, pa te duboke države, odnosno nazovimo je duboka država i oni koji satanisti koji vladaju svetom, jer zlo nije samo na zapadu, zlo je i na istoku. I to se znalo da će se desiti u Ukrajini. Znalo se i te 2020. Nije se znao početak. Mislim da sa Ukrajinom i Poljskom bi daleko brže uspeli da izborimo slobodu svih evropskih naroda, a kasnije bi se to čovjek.
Well, it is very complex question.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry.
but yes, it's very important to find the truth, and it is very sad if we and people who are actually serving Satan, they have been trying to conquer the world. Yes, so they are. You see, we can now recognize them, you know. And with Poland and Ukraine, if we if they liberate themselves, if we have them free, this seed of freedom will spread all other countries.
Yeah.
Because when people with their own eyes witness what is happening, what is evil, the Nazi, really, all this stuff, so they will do the same in their own countries.
Yeah.
And even the American, there's the rich America as well.
Do you think there's too much dependency on the U.S. to save us, or a president to save us? Because this is what I'm hearing when I do interviews, and I know I said it's the last question, but when I do interviews, everybody's focused on America, but you have to do what you can where you are, and don't depend. This ain't World War II or World War I. Don't depend on Donald Trump. I have no confidence in Trump to save anyone. Only God can do that. My point is, you know, do you think we put too much dependence on the U.S., the country of freedom, which we haven't? Do you think we do that too many times?
Evo koliko god putujem i gde god sam bio i kad intervjuišem ljude što radim, ljudi odmah misle Amerika, svi se oslanjaju na Ameriku i čekaju Ameriku. Da li mislite da je zbog čega toliko se zavisi od Amerike? Jer ja lično mislim da nije Amerika ta koja može pomoći ljudima i ja lično ne verujem mnogo ni u politiku, ni u Donalda Trumpa, ni mislim da slobodu svaki narod treba da stekne u svojoj državi sam. Absolutely, I agree.
Amerika je najmanje slobodna, ona je sama imenica za ove Evropejce, koji odu sa tatinim maminim parama u Ameriki da studiraju, plate najskuplje školovanje za najlošije obrazovanje, ali steknu prijatelji širom sveta, jer Bože moderno, Oxford, Cambridge, takva njihova znanja nisu jedan naših srednjoškolaca. Skoro su mi popravili nekog pametnog advokata iz nekih da slušam šta čovek priča. Ja ne mogu da verujem. Sjajnih demagoga stvarno nisam čuo, ali kad on predstavi to narodu, to izgleda nešto kao wow, tamo neka Amerika. David Maјklу živi tamo, zna kako narod tamo živi i niko ne kaže da je to najzaduženija zemlja. Počeli smo da pričamo na početku emisije o fasama čovečanstva. Prva je bila ovo što sam pričao od Ivana Grozina, druga je bila stvaranje peda i ono što u Evropi niko ne zna, niko ne potencira. Evropa, odnosno 25 evropskih zemalja, gde između ostalog kasnije panelije, preko bila Kraljevina Srba, Hrvata i Slovenaca, je stvorena parama Rusina, Rusa, znači 46.000 tona zlata. Kasnije to preraslo u pet. 2012. trebalo da dođe to novo zlatno doba. Znate zašto zlatno doba? Zato što je tad potpisan sporazum sa 4% tog zlata, što iznosi tad 200.000 tona zlata svim slovenskim narodima, odnosno SSR, narodima SSR-a i 25 zemalja evropskim. Živimo u neznanju i lažemo.
Well, the American people are the last on the list that are independent, that are free, unfortunately. But it was for through the years, it has become very popular for the families with good salaries, parents sending their children to study in America, to go to universities, but for a certain amount of money, they go to some schools, but these schools are not very good level and good educational level schools. But
Absolutely.
it's just saying that my daughter is studying in the US, my son is studying in the US. It's just the place to become a member of certain interest groups. Club, yes.
A club.
But Dushan is saying that he's been inviting recently to participate one presentation of one lawyer, young man who had studied in the US, and he couldn't. He said, I didn't understand what he was saying. So it was quite, I couldn't believe that Oxford, Cambridge. Why do people think that the best education is at such schools only because they're expensive to pay? So it isn't the case anymore. But going back to the beginning, so there are three phases of this whole actually truth happening to all of us. The first one was the gold that Ivan the Terrible had given to the British royal family. The second one was the phase, druga faza je, kako ono rekao ste? Fed, yes, forming, establishing Fed,
The Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve,
And the third part is actually this eastern part where a huge amount of gold were planned to be delivered to all the countries in this eastern bloc. So, so this is very important to know.
Wow.
I posljednja faza je sad pokušaj ustoličenja jedne od naslednika Romanović, naslednice, da bi se taj dug otpisao. To se dešava za 3-4 godine, da vam ne pričam detalje. Suviše složenih operacija ima u posljednje 3 godine protiv čovečanstva zarad interesa jedne svetske vlade, odnosno te budućnosti.
And also not to forget that the United States are the country with the highest amount of debts on the list of the whole states in the world. But what is happening very important in the last 3 years, many things have been happened that people don't know, is bringing back the royal heiress of the Romanov family.
Romanov family.
Romanov, she is a lady, and she is planned to be brought back to the throne.
To Russia.
Yeah, Russia. Yes, in Russia. It's very complex. There are so many complex operations happening.
Right.
But it's not for good for the humankind. It's against.
Što je najbitnije, mi živimo u lažima više od 100 godina. Nameću nam se od neke istorije do nekih vrednosti koje nikakve veze nemaju sa čovekom, sa ljudskim osobinom. Svedoci smo svega toga. On vidi malo pre izne u Americi šta rade roditelji devojkama, seku grudi, da bi sutra postali jedan užas, jedna potpuna dekadencija. Kad bi znali malo istoriju, ali pravu istoriju šta se dešavalo u srednjem veku, videli bi da se sve to isto dešavalo, ali da je to dobro koje je bilo oličeno tamo, se izborilo protiv tog zla. A i ovog puta oni ne odustaju od te zlatne milijarde, pa sad vidite koliko je par stotina hiljada ljudi izginulo u Ukrajini, a niko ne priča koliko je ljudi izginulo od tog medicinskog pomagala za ove 3 godine. Koliko će ih tek umreti. Desetine puta više. Znači, ovo je rat koji se vodi na više nivoa do najveće prevare do globalnog zagrevanja zemlje, a suština tih 1100 ili 1300 naučnika je da lobiraju države da finansiraju taj projekat, a na drugoj strani imate 11.000 naučnika koji tvrde da je to najveća prevara. To vam je taj chemtrails i to je upotreba, odnosno zloupotreba tog novog savremena oružja.
very, very complex situation because the war that is being waged is against the humans. And on one side, you have what hundreds of thousands of scientists claiming that vaccines are good and all this, so looking after the people. But on the other side, you have got 11,000 scientists saying that this is all against the humanity. So a lot of things on different fields have been being happening, and the war has been being waged, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, I'm gonna listen. First of all, I want to say that I am grateful because he has given us some great information, and I would like to periodically, because there's so many questions that come to my mind that we don't have time for. But if it's possible, I want to set up just like 30-minute, I promise, 30-minute interviews where we'll, even though we're in different countries, where he'll be able to talk about, because it affects this whole region, the digital currency. That's for another interview. Digital currency and what pressure is the EU putting on the Balkans to bring you to submission. And even I don't know if it's ever been proposed that you should join the EU. I know they're trying to get Kosovo to, but there's several independent questions that would take like 30 minutes or less for him to answer, because this region is key to Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Go ahead.
On je jako zahvalan za ovaj intervju i on bi molio sledeći put, kaže, neće biti duži od 30 minuta, on bi postavio neka pitanja što se tiče velikog pritiska koji je Evropska unija čini Srbiji i sve što se dešava, sve pritiske kroz koje prolazimo, jer on veruje da je u stvari Balkan u stvari ključ za rešenje svih problema i za istok i za zapadnu svetu. Yes, absolutely, you're right.
Pozvao tog 11.12. da vidi celu Evropu na jednom mestu.
That is why they invited you to join us on the 11th and the 12th of August, and you can see representatives of whole Europe at one place.
Wow, that would be an honor.
Rim ne može da se ponovi, a to je baš bila cela Evropa, čak je bila i ona iz Meksika. Sad je naša policija, nema pojma. Iz Meksika, iz Kine, to su bilo je predivno nešto što ne ponovi.
And I'm very sorry that you were not with us on that day on the Square of Freedom in Rome, where there were representatives of all kinds of
I saw that. It was...
Video sam, gledao sam, bilo je fascinantno.
Srbima data bitna uloga.
So the Serbs were given the special role on that day.
Yeah. Did Dr. Zev Belenko speak at that time, or?
Da li je doktor? No.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but it was only on the place, the people.
Yeah.
The people.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So.
Also, what Dushan said, all this that is happening, the story you said that the parents are making their children cut their breasts, the girls, and all these terrible things that have been happening in the US and the Western world. Actually, if we know the real truth and the real history, what really had happened, the same thing was happening in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
But people were smart enough to stop it. And now it's coming again to us. So it's on us and up to us to realize that we are the ones, we the people are the ones who need to work, who need to make our voices out, and fight against evil.
Does he ever think, this is the last question. Tyranny, looking at history, tyranny never gives up its grip without bloodshed.
Da li mislite i vi da tiranija kroz istoriju uvek je završavala, uvek je bila prisutna i uvek je završavala?
Does he see the possibility of that?
To be stopped.
No. Does he see the possibility that governments today will peacefully give up their power?
Hoće li vlade predati svoju vlast, ove postojeće protiv kojih se narod bori? Of course they will. What are we doing? What have we been doing now?
Da.
Da.
Problem su te laži u kojima mi živimo i neznanje, elementarno je da ne pričamo od
The main
medicine,
problems
nauke.
are the lies and the not truth, the truth that we don't know.
Da,
That is the problem.
Nezahvalno je govoriti o tim istinama, sada narodu kažete ko je bio zaista Isus Hristos, u kom je veku živeo, i šta je on stvarno bio, jer sad vam kažem bio je car, a ne ono što propoveda crkva, ali to su znanja za neka druga vremena, a to je odgovor na njegovo pitanje. Mislim, verovati u Boga je jedno, verovati u crkvu je nešto. Koja crkva je pokazala tokom ove 3 godine kome ona pripada i oni točno se istoga.
There are so many truths, the real truths, that could be very painful if you spread them all at once to the people, because we have no idea what the real truth is.
Right.
Well, we are finding out in the process of finding it out. So now if I tell you that Jesus Christ is not the one who we learned about, he was emperor, he was a king, and many other things. Believing in God and church, now in this course of these 3 years, we have realized who the church belonged to, who they also work for. So believing in God is the other.
I believe that I can believe in God separately from the church, who sometimes, not every time, I'm evangelical, so we don't have the hierarchy that the Catholic and the Orthodox Church does.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that religion in the name of God has become corrupt, whether it's the Roman Catholic Church or the Orthodox or Islam or Judaism. But I do believe without a doubt that what we are seeing now is in the book of Revelation, where it talks about a one world government. And basically, it doesn't say digital currency, but it says no man can buy, sell, or it doesn't say travel, but that's the implication. Buy or sell unless he receives in his body the mark of the beast. Now, that's where I stand on that as someone who believes that Jesus was the Messiah. And that's why it's amazing the time that we live in if you know the Bible. It doesn't mean I have a reliance on the hierarchy of the church, because I know they're as easily corrupted as politicians many times.
Ja sam video koliko je korumpirana crkva i koliko može da bude korumpirana. Ja verujem u Boga i evangelista sam, tako da po meni religije su potpuno druga priča i jesu bile korišćene protiv i zloupotrebljene.
Sir, I want to say thank you very much for being on Insight to Israel. And I want to say thank you to our viewers. You guys, listen, we've got some good numbers here, and I'm sure we're going to try and break this video down, and sometimes things get lost in translation, and that's okay, because if you're paying attention, you won't get lost. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you to the great people of Serbia who's been have given me amazing hospitality since I've been here. Thank you, Dushan.
Thank you, Michael. Mami, volim moj narode, volim vas i ljubim sve, da što pre progledate i da spatite.
My dear people, best regards to your mother, and everybody else, please open your eyes and get awakened as soon as possible.
Amen. This is Maјklu Genoa with Insight to Israel and beyond. Stay tuned for more. We have Toots tomorrow, Tootsie, and we're going to have a great show tomorrow coming out of the U.S., out of New York City, every Wednesday like we do. We've got Greece coming up. We've got Italy coming up. We've got south of France, showing you what's happening there, and we're going to try and make it to your event here. And okay, I don't know how to say that properly. I don't want to offend anyone in that town, but we're going to work to make it to this event that we've been invited to, and it's such an honor. God bless you guys. Have a great night.